Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm the Game Bastard Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
Austin.
We're continuing to play Deadlands, the Weird West, 1880, but with weirdness. This is a RPG based on the Savage World system. Came out in the 90s, but this is the newest version. It's a lot of fun.
Were people in the 1910s having like 1880s nostalgia? Was there a Stranger Things of the early 20th century?
It was a stage play called Wayward Stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look that up.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it still had Sean Astin in it.
It did. Well, if you're just joining Bastard Quest for the first time, you might want to rewind a couple episodes. We're right possibly near the end of our Deadlands adventure. We'll see. Austin, who are you playing?
I am Vince Kill, Canadian gunslinger.
Corey?
I'm Colostomy Dave.
Are we just children? Is that...
Fastest ass in the Old West.
Yeah. Like any kind of poop joke, we're just childish.
I don't want to play this. Can we just do anything?
Well, hey, your characters are in a terribly precarious situation. You could all die.
Okay. You don't want to know about Dave's worst case scenario situation.
I trust that you're telling me I don't, and I trust you.
Yeah, if you see Predator, you know what's going to happen. If Dave gets cornered. Bleep, bleep, bleep.
This burlap will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
They made it differently back then, Austin.
You one smelly motherfucker.
That would have been a very different Predator movie.
But oddly enough, Arnold would have looked a lot the same.
He would have. Todd?
I'm pretty sure that happened in Predator 2.
Todd, who are you playing?
I'm Crackety Jones. I have night terrors and a potato friend.
I continue to love Todd's descriptions of his character.
I wish Todd was single so his Tinder profile could just say that. I have night terrors and a potato friend. I'm going to create a fake one for Crackety.
For Crackety?
Just to see if anybody swipes.
You wouldn't get a lot of swipes, but the ones you would get.
Colostomy Dave would get more. I don't know how the scat play community in Western Kentucky is right now. Nowadays, I know how it was in the 90s.
Everyone would swipe on Colostomy Dave because everyone would say, I've got to talk to this guy.
They would wipe on him.
Yeah. Oh.
Wipe left or right. He don't mind.
I hate everything.
I don't want to do this. Somebody take me home. I'm going to get blackout.
Actually, Todd, not Crackety, I do have...
The line is blurred.
Right. I sometimes forget who I am, but I do have night terrors. Honestly, I think the second time when my wife and I were dating, the second time we slept in the same bed, I scared the shit out of her. I woke up screaming and growling in a demon voice. It happens every couple of months.
Cow! Cow! This is pre-podcast, too. Yeah. That's my night terrors nowadays.
I sleep great. Vince is standing in one of the private dining rooms on the 3rd floor of McDougal's Steaks and Wine, the best steakhouse in that grand metropolis of Boise, Idaho.
The McDougals, of course, Ruth and Chris McDougal.
Yeah.
Love history. Especially when you get to make it up yourself.
It's the best. He'd been trying to infiltrate a private dinner held by the head of the Donavan Mining Company. The dice did not go in Austin's favor, so he was immediately recognized upon entering this dining room. Though there was no help the fact that the skinwalker who had tried to murder him and his compatriots had also warned Mr. Donavan that the 3 of them were coming.
And a well-trained staff who know their coworkers.
It turns out, yeah. So Mr. Donavan, everyone in the room is laughing, but Donavan stands up and says, "Welcome, Mr. Kellogg. Have a seat. Tell us what you've learned. We're always happy to interface with law enforcement here at the Donavan Mining Company."
You want me to just sit and talk with you?
Of course, this isn't a nefarious meeting of criminal mastermind and his loyal henchmen. This is just a owner of an honest business and the vice presidents of his various divisions, and one skinwalker.
I gotta say, I didn't really think it was a evil meeting with a mastermind and his henchmen until you kind of insisted it wasn't.
Why would it be evil? And he pulls a covering over a map on the front that you're pretty sure it showed like half the U.S. in flames.
4 ninjas draw from the ceiling.
And he gestures to an open seat. Sit down! And he gestures to the waiters. Get my friend here a glass of, what do you drink?
I usually go for some milk.
The room goes really quiet.
Guns cock.
Bring my friend some milk. Also bourbon. He leans back, threads his fingers over his chest. Tell me about yourself, Mr. Kellogg. Tell me why you're here today. What brings you to Boise?
Well, we're curious what other kind of creatures you traffic with down in your mines, you know.
Oh, mines? Creatures?
Yeah, you got a skinwalker over there, and we thought maybe you might traffic with other beings, like greed worms and such.
Well, why would an upstanding businessman like myself do something like that, Mr. Kellogg?
I don't really know. That's why I was going to try to sneak in here, unless you feel like sharing.
Well, it's possible that a man of my position, with his gold mines and silver mines being less valuable than they once were due to the advent of ghost rock, might decide to cultivate an organism like a greed maggot, grow it to great size in many of these mines spread across the country, and then take them to a secret facility, a mine that's dilapidated and has been mysteriously closed for recent weeks, to which large amounts of scientific and industrial equipment have been sent, and he should take those and bleed them and create terrible potions and poisons from the unguents, ripped out of their innards. But I wouldn't do that.
But if I did, we'd call it Project 1885.
We would call it Project 1885.
Well, okay then. I guess I believe you,
Take her easy.
and I'll just be on my way.
You know what, Mr. Kellogg? You strike me as a sort of honest lawman.
I will thank you.
And he snaps his fingers, and someone throws a heavy wallet full of cash right in front of you. Just go about your day, Mr. Kellogg. This is a bribe, just so we're clear. I don't want there to be confusion. Like later you'd be like, oh, I wasn't sure you were bribing me. And then I'm like, I was bribing you.
Quick question, Kyle. Does he have his body cam on?
Cops don't turn those on, do they?
Well, depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Is Vince on the PGA Tour?
Jesus.
Vince sweeps up the wallet and says, well, all right, this has been very enlightening. Just out of curiosity, where will you be for the next 5 to 6 hours?
Probably here, sir.
All right, well, I'll see you folks later. Y'all take her easy.
Vince leaves the private dining room. The door is slammed behind him. He shuffles back across the hall to Crackety and Colostomy
What?
in their own private dining room.
Occupied.
They've just been served steaks and potatoes.
Oh, this is going to be a rough night.
Crackety is currently in a deep conversation with Potato Pete to make sure that the potato on his plate is not a relative.
Oh, well.
So you guys are in your own private dining room now. You can hear loud, raucous laughter.
So we're in our own private Idaho.
Yep. In a way, yes.
R.I.P. River.
This doesn't have quite the production value, but
Or male prostitution.
so far.
I don't know. Vincent just
I don't know. I just took
took a
some money.
large sum of money.
Yeah, there's $10,000 in that wallet.
Holy shit. In today's money, that's like $12,000. Right?
I don't know what that would be in today's money, but it would be a gigantic fortune.
Ah.
All right, guys, so here's the deal. I just took a bribe from Mr. Donavan. Because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want us going sneaking around his mine, where I think he's got a bunch more of those greed worms and is trying to juice them for potions.
Well, how much did he pay you with?
Oh, roughly $500.
Let's go. I'll take 100 and stay quiet for the rest of my life.
Vince is just shoving notes in his pockets.
They're falling out of my sleeves.
I can't count.
So what do we do? I think he was very specific about what they were not doing, and it makes me suspicious.
Well, we take that $500 and we buy us a tank. They got them nowadays. What do they
You mean
got?
a septic tank?
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Moving up on it.
Thing I just invented.
Septic Dave. Oh.
You know, if I just had 50 of them dollars, then I could take Grits to the head shrinking vet and find out the source of his night terrors.
I'll tell you this right now. You give me $50, you'll never hear from me again. I'm out of your life. You won't catch a whiff of Colostomy Dave ever again. I'm out of Idaho forever, going to Ohio, where they accept people like me.
All right, so what do? Do you think we just abandon the mission, or do we go looking for another one of those greed worms? I don't really have a problem with Mr. Donavan doing whatever he's doing with this greed worm juice to try and make powerful potions and stuff, but if there's more of them greed worms in his mind, then more people could get hurt here in Boise.
So, look, your characters could just take the money and go off and live your lives and allow Donavan to unleash his terrors upon an unsuspecting America in a year or two.
I mean, of all of Dave's problems, the Plunkets, etc.,
Yeah.
there's nothing in his character sheet that says he's corrupt in any way, and I don't think any of us really have that going on. I think we're honest to God lawmen.
Oh yeah, we're
You
not.
know?
Yeah, Vince is not backing away. He's just taking advantage of this idiot rich man.
So what I'm saying is this amount of money corrupts Dave, and he is ready to go. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think we continue our investigation.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Or there's a quick solution to all of this, and we go back in that room together and just massacre all these businessmen. That Skinwalker's in there too. I think I forgot to tell y'all that. Once again, I am from Canada. I will remind everyone.
Oh, yes.
That is the Canadian solution to a lot of problems.
Well, one of the options we had before was to check out the mine itself.
Yeah.
Which sounds like now we know it's full of greed worms.
Yeah.
Yes.
So no. One of the other options was infiltrating the Donavan building itself.
Yeah, the office.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that sounds like a better thing than storming the Greed Worm Palace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we could learn more about what's in there, and possibly, I mean, if it's where they keep supplies, we could find some dynamite to just collapse this fucking mine.
Yeah, and get some evidence while we're at it, because
Yeah.
we are policemen.
Yeah, but in the West.
Yeah, and we're pre-1980s policemen, so we look for evidence. We don't just put it there. You know.
That was an innovation of the Reagan era, yeah. So took the war on drugs to come up with the cops planning stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys want to go break into the Donavan Company mining offices? They have a large building, 13 floors.
Yeah, sure.
Most importantly, do you pay your tab before you leave the steakhouse?
We do, but only because Vince pooled tips with the rest of the wait staff and just paid the tab with what he earned.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
That staff's got to hate you now.
They definitely
They
hate
don't. I stuck a bunch of that bribe money in there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So the three of you head out of McDougal Steaks and Wine, and you walk just down the street to the Donavan Mining Company headquarters, which is a large brick building, 13 stories, which for this era is quite tall. You got to remember, this is the pre-skyscraper era, especially for Boise, which is not known for its skyline even today. True story. Today, no building in Boise is taller than 7 feet.
Really?
Yep.
A very small people.
Yeah, the halflings.
Can't say I've ever met anybody from Idaho, so.
Well, the entire city's underground.
Oh, I see.
Mole men, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a 13-story brick building, really decorative architecture, a large radio tower on top of it.
There's a radio tower on top of the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Boise, you don't think about it, but pretty good indie rock scene in Boise. It's built to spills from there. Come on.
Yeah. Ghost Rock Radio, which sounds like an acid rock station from the 90s.
Yeah, their slogan is "The future starts here."
Yes.
You guys would never have seen a radio tower. This would be a new Ghost Rock innovation.
That's what I was about to say. Guys, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. Fucking run, man. That ain't right.
But the office is closed down for the night. All the windows are dark. Though you see here and there are lights on inside.
Crackety, looking up at the radio tower, decides that in order to solve this mystery of the radio tower and learn its secrets, he should eat Potato Pete, and he will digest his powers and soak them into himself. He himself will become an all-knowing, many-eyed Soggoth.
I think you're going to become the next Colostomy Dave. That rotten potato going to wreck them guts.
Well, he eats it and like immediately just vomits.
Okay.
Well, speaking of trying to understand the radio tower,
It's kind of like doing shrooms.
Sure.
Just standing like on the sidewalk, looking up at the building, and then you just
there's a hero shot of all
Yeah.
three guys.
you
Okay.
see
Cracky's in the middle.
crunching on something and just projectile vomiting on the brick wall.
Dave is holding his bag like Mjolnir above his head. Is the Avengers shot. Yeah.
Well, I have to imagine, speaking of trying to understand the radio tower, Todd, I have to imagine this old-fashioned radio tower kind of looks like one of those old TV antennas or antlers, maybe.
Sure.
It's not like how excited you were about that epiphany. Antlers.
So once he upchucks Potato Pete and the lovely steak dinner that he had just had, as he opens his eyes and looks up, everything's slightly out of focus, and he just sees a giant antelope on top of the mining company offices.
Okay, so he's tripping off Potato now.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Rotted potato.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay.
So there's this green bolt of lightning that arcs up the radio tower and shoots off to the east.
Okay. So when we got into town, we saw what we thought was a lightning rod on top of the
Yes.
building.
Oh, well remembered.
Yeah, I'm great at this. But actually, it's making the lightning. Is that what you're saying?
Essentially, yeah.
Man, this is crazy. What a story.
I just stole it all from Brothers Karamazov.
That and heavy metal.
Yeah. Few people remember that part, but nobody's read the middle of that book.
It's my favorite review of this podcast. If you like Dostoevsky,
You're gonna love
Bastard Quest.
Yeah.
No, you don't see any guards. I mean, there's large wooden doors at the front. They're closed. You see a cop like walking down the street, but there are no guards or anything out front. So I assume you guys are gonna break into the mining company building.
Yeah, sure.
How are you guys gonna get into the building? Do you have any crime skills? You're cops.
Well, I think this is a good time for Colostomy Dave to deal with the devil. Something we haven't done yet, but it's part of his magic and gambling skills, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So this is a mechanic that hucksters have. Essentially, which I think we've talked about this very briefly, but if you want to play it safe as a huckster, you can cast hexes, meaning spells, just as normal using your power points, which, Corey, you have some amount of power points, right?
Yeah, I have 10, and I've got a handful of skills, but this allows me to use skills I do not have, correct?
Yeah. You can get powers and spells that are not available to you.
Okay.
So essentially, every huckster has a Manitou, a devil, that they deal with to get their powers.
Boy, howdy.
And so this dealing with the devil is essentially you mentally go into the hunting ground and gamble with the Manitou for more power is basically what you're doing to start. And this is a process that will take a little time in game, but in terms of the fiction, it can happen in seconds.
Right, because I enter the astral plane.
Right, basically, yeah.
In my case, astral has 2 S's.
You have to spend a Benny to start this process.
Okay, will do.
Okay. When Colostomy goes to the hunting ground, what does it look like from his point of view? How does he imagine it?
It's very brown.
Yeah.
Like when Thanos was inside the Soul Gem?
Yeah, it's like that, but
But brown.
brown.
But like in that antique glass that is on your grandmother's shelf.
What?
My grandmother?
Yeah.
No, anyone's. That just ugly brown glass that shit was made of.
Oh, my grandparents are dead.
Like radioactive
funny.
glass.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty funny.
I didn't do it.
So there you find Ficus. What does he look like in his true form?
Well, you know how in Lord of the Rings lore, like Sauron often gave like the appearance of beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Ficus. He's a gorgeous man with brown hair.
Like Leo DiCaprio.
More like Josh Hartnett.
You can't have him playing 2 people in this movie.
Absolutely, you can. Watch The Social Network.
Well, when he's playing Ficus, he parts his hair to the other side.
Yeah, it's totally Army Hammer. Instead of blood, he's into something else.
Well,
I wouldn't pitch Harnett on the idea of also being like Army Hammer.
Josh Hartnett is known for his versatility. He once appeared in a stage play of Fiddler on the Roof and played all the parts himself.
Played the roof.
okay, Corey, what power is your huckster trying to cast?
Well, it's a power I don't have in my normal spell. It's called Burrow. He's going to rename it Brown Burrow.
Okay.
Sure.
Essentially, you dissolve into the earth and appear elsewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what that looks like.
So basically, if you're standing on raw earth, which they didn't have asphalt, I don't even think with the Ghost Rock they came up with asphalt yet.
Well, they have cobblestones, but
Yeah, but okay, I'll go to the dirt.
you can find mud
Yeah.
in Boise.
Oh, Colostomy Dave can find mud.
If not, I'll make it.
God.
So basically, he can stand on raw earth and move up to 32 yards.
Okay, that's quite a distance. Very specific one, but I'll allow
It's
it.
in the fucking book that you handed to me.
Who knows where I got that?
Yeah, I assume you wrote this.
Okay, so we got the power. Now you're going to make a gambling roll,
Okay.
and this will help determine how many cards you get to draw for your hand.
Okay. I have a D6 in gambling.
Okay, so just make a normal roll with the D6 and the wild die.
Okay. Got a 4.
Okay, that's a success. So you're going to get 5 cards standard plus 1 extra card for the success on the gambling roll. And essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to make a poker hand.
Okay.
The better hand you get, the more you're going to be able to do.
All right, so do I just deal these to Corey?
Yes, you deal him 6 cards.
Okay.
And could have gotten more cards if I would have got like a raise in my roll. Is that correct?
That's right. Each raise would have given you another card.
Okay.
So a powerful spellcaster could potentially get a lot of cards.
Gotcha. Okay, I have received my 6 cards, and I'm just looking for any kind of poker hand, correct?
That's right.
Well, this is pretty shitty. I got a pair of 4s.
Well, hey, that's a pair is on the list here.
Okay.
So pair, obviously, being 2 cards of the same value, which we all knew.
And somebody who watches after your children in France.
The effect on that is exactly what you needed, which is 3 power points.
Okay.
So you get the 3 power points you need for that power. If your hand hadn't come up with anything, essentially you would still get to cast the spell, but you would have taken a minus to the roll equal to the amount of power points you didn't get.
Okay.
So you would have been at -3.
Oh, yeah, that
which
would
would have been rough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least I got a shitty thing.
Oh, wow. So the mechanic is just you get X number of cards to try to put a hand together with.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it.
Wow.
Cool.
That's rough.
It's pretty fun, though.
That makes Magic pretty hard.
Well, you don't have to do this for each magic spell. He has his own power points.
Yeah, but
that he can use.
I wasn't going to use Brown Bolt to
Sure.
burst into the building, you know.
It is a bit overt. Okay, so now you make your normal spellcasting roll.
Okay, got a D8 in spellcasting. That's a 7.
More than you need. So, Corey, describe how this spell draws Colostomy, Crackety, and Vince into the Donavan Mining Company headquarters.
Oh, God.
So Dave reaches both his arms out and says, "Grab on to me, brothers." And it's essentially like Apparition in the Harry Potter universe where they,
Yeah.
but instead of spinning up into the air, they spin down, much like a flushing toilet.
Yeah. Actually, that's the way I think they should have done it in Harry Potter.
Well, for sure.
Now, had we been in Australia, we would have gone up. But
Right.
Well, yeah, of course.
Sure.
Right. Because it's Southern Hemisphere thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember that in Quigley Down Under.
So as you're spinning, apparently not all the vomit has come out of Crackety.
Oh, okay.
And so there's just this long stream
Yeah.
being pulled farther and farther out of his mouth as you into the ground and then reappear inside
That's disgusting.
or inside the building. You're in the basement. You just came out of the dirt floor. It's dark, but you are inside. And no
Well-
one knows you're there.
Well, luckily, Dave's got a candle.
You
on
do
my
have a candle.
fucking gear list. Yeah. And a whistle.
I also, on my gear list, have a lantern with oil
Crackety is just worried that he's never going to stop vomiting, and he envisions a future where he has to have a vomit colostomy bag attached to his chin.
Inside his head, Crackety hears a voice. I'm inside you now.
Oh, God.
We're bonded.
Okay, one up Kellogg.
So, what are you looking for exactly in the Donavan Mining Company headquarters?
Evidence.
Okay. I get it. I feel like that covers a lot of ground.
I don't know. Did we have a blacklight candle? Like, quick search for semen.
It's everywhere.
Oh, it's Old West, I guess.
Look at all this fecal matter.
Hell.
No, I would imagine we're looking for either files of some kind on the day-to-day operations of the mine, and we could also potentially look for Donovan's office itself to see if there are any confidential files or information or documents on what he's keeping.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. They are bureaucrats at the end of the day. There is going to be a paper trail of some kind, most likely, right?
Yeah.
And even if there's not a paper trail that says we've got fucking greed worms in the mine, we can probably find something that references, the asset or the resource or something like that as cover
fishy
documentation.
Okay, so what skill are you guys using to scour the building?
Well, I have a D6 in stealth,
Yeah, stealth is an option.
but I also have a D6 in notice.
Ooh.
Yeah, I definitely don't have anything better than Austin's notice in anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
In my true life.
So you guys could make a cooperative roll. Todd and Corey, you guys could roll to help Austin with his notice.
Okay. So if we make our rolls, we give him a +1 to his, right?
Yeah, if you have a skill that would be relevant to what he's doing is what I'll allow.
Okay.
And you may not. This could just be Vince by himself.
I'm just going to roll Colostomy's notice as well.
I started to say notice is one of the default skills on here, so I feel like we should all have at least D4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Oh,
That's Crackety is a D4.
Got a 6 on my wild die. That's an 8, so 1 raise. Does that give him a +2?
Sure.
Thanks.
Cool.
Crackety rolled a 3.
The antelope appears before Crackety and leads him deeper into the building, away from his friends.
Okay.
All right, so I'm rolling my D6, the wild die, with a +2.
That's right.
Oh, there's a 6 and a 1. So +2, so 9. So a success with 1 raise.
So you guys make a brief circuit through the lower floors of the building, which the first floor is mostly public areas, receptionists.
A room marked worm plans.
Well, that's on floor 2.
I got it.
No, and then you go through accounting and architects and all the sorts of normal things you would expect to find in an office building. So when you get up to the 13th floor, which is unusually labeled as 13th because this is a superstitious age, and most people, if there's going to be a 13th floor, they just skip straight to the 14th. But here, the Donavan Mining Company, it is labeled properly. As you open the door to the 13th floor, there's a rumble of thunder outside and lightning crashes in the sky. You walk down a wood-paneled hallway, and there's various department heads like Mr. O'Malley, demolitions, Mr. Cosgrove, accounting. Then there's one.
The tater department.
There's one that says Brother Amiza, Prophecy and Doom.
Well, let's try this door.
You open it, and inside is essentially a madman's office. The small desk shoved under the window. There's books choking the walls, old scrolls of obvious antiquity. There's a pair of stone tablets pulled out of God knows what on an easel with all various chalk rubbings.
Carved potato men everywhere.
Well, if you're looking through Crackety's eyes, yes.
Oh, I see.
Is that John Hamm?
It's basically Easter Island, but potatoes for Crackety.
Yeah.
There's a human skull on the desk with a candle on it. There's a big book like what you might get out of like a secret library in the Vatican. Just all sorts of occult paraphernalia. You go to the desk, start looking through, and it's all sort of occult practices dealing with various monsters. And the most heavily indexed section is dealing with greed maggots and their various uses. And there's handwritten notes and much older notes written in a language that none of you speak.
Colostomy flips through the Vatican book and he goes, apparently boys are fair game.
There's a big section on that of this part we're going to cut.
I didn't tell the church to do that. I'm sorry.
Well, that's fair. It was my recommendation that they not when they consulted me.
Okay.
They're like, Kyle, do you think we should be pedophiles? And I said no. But do they listen?
No.
That's why.
First thing they ever took initiative.
That's
on.
why I podcast with you
Yeah.
and not the Pope.
I say no to molestation.
Yep.
Thank you.
You wouldn't get that answer on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Well,
You'd get-
what's the age of consent in the Vatican?
So after that, there's written drawings of these greed maggots obviously being vivisected and parts are being pulled out. And then there's a diagram of a man with parts being plugged into him. And after that, the man is glowing. Though what that glow indicates in the drawing, who can say?
Are you insinuating Colostomy Dave is the chosen one?
Does Colostomy Dave have greed maggot parts in his
I
belly?
don't know. I just heard a man being plugged full of things. Like, I just immediately pictured Dave. He's got a plug in his
Maybe.
belly. Yeah.
Maybe he's the new man that Donavan Mining Company is trying to build.
The Superman.
The Ubermensch.
All of this has made me feel really sorry for people that have colostomy bags.
Oh, God.
Because knowing how much you hate them.
Me?
Okay, guys. Well, we have a general idea of what they're doing with these greed worms, and it seems like a bunch of stuff is not good. So
They're using them to birth antelopes.
they could be.
We got to stop all this.
Yeah, I say we just try to blow up the mine. We could probably find some dynamite around here.
So they are breeding the worms in the mine, correct?
There's nothing about what might or might not be going on at the mine in this particular office. This is, whoever Brother Amiza is clearly the brain behind the process. Whatever's happening at the mine, you don't know.
But it
Yeah.
has to be where they're keeping it, right? Because those things are attracted to wealth and shiny things, right?
Well, giving the rules of story building and narrative, yes.
And given the rules of our squad, we act on hunches like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's our whole reason for being in Boise.
Yeah. I mean, we've already taken a step outside the norm just getting evidence.
Yeah, it was alarming. So what do you guys want to do next? You have some evidence here. No, this is not necessarily evidence of a crime.
Well, let's pocket some stuff. Hey, I got a bag. Cram her in, boys. Just emptied her this morning. It's only 3/4 full.
So we do that. We take some evidence.
Please tell me you're not putting it in the poop bag.
No,
Well-
we've got our saddlebags and shit with us.
There you
Laminate
go.
it first.
They'll never look there.
Brother Amiza does have a laminating machine.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Ghost Rock.
Of course, this is also based on Patreon member Amiza.
Thank you.
All right, so we take our evidence, and now what do?
Fine blowing up stuff.
Yeah, I think so. If I recall correctly, there was a few doors back that said demolition.
That is true.
Well, let's steer clear of that one, fellas.
Now, obviously, it's an office. I don't expect it to just have an umbrella stand full of dynamite, but there's probably files on where it's kept.
Yeah, you head back to that office, go in, and there are detailed records of the Donavan Mining Company's demolition expenditures, storage, and there are a number of warehouses in Boise where they store dynamite.
All right, well, I guess that's our next move.
Let's get it.
How are you exfiltrating the building?
Well, I assume there's a back door.
There's multiple doors. This is a very large building.
Fire code.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess stealth. Can we do a group roll, and whoever has the best stealth, we help them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
What's everybody got for their stealth?
I have a D4, so not great.
Mine's D6.
D4 for crackety.
So once again, we are following Austin.
Yeah,
into
so-
the abyss.
Todd, Corey, you guys roll your stealth and you give bonuses to Austin.
Okay. Got a 4, but it's a 4 on my D4, so I get to roll again.
I got a 4 on my D4 also.
Nice.
Your
Oh.
shit explodes.
And that's a 1, so I got a 5 total.
7.
+2. Pretty solid roll there.
2's my favorite number.
All right, rolling D6 again. All right, I got a total of 7.
So the three of you go down a back stairwell, slip out one of the loading docks, and quietly sneak away through the alleyways, streets of Moody Boise, as they call it.
Why?
It's moody.
Oh, okay.
You head directly to one of the warehouses where you believe the Donavan Mining Company is storing explosives. Plan to liberate a fair amount in order to blow up the mine facility they have many miles outside of town. So how are you going to get there with all this dynamite?
Well, of course, Richter was waiting outside the building. After having been away for so long, he almost ruins our stealth check by howling,
He just comes to find you and howls like
which
a
is
dog.
horrifying coming out of a horse.
Well, we still have all our horses as they are.
Yeah,
They're not great, but they're horses.
they are horses. They can carry stuff.
As long as he's awake, Grits is a fine horse.
Yeah, sure.
He's a great horse awake. It's it's the unawake that's the problem.
Yeah, so we just load our horses up with dynamite, as you do.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes us a while to feed it to them, and then when we got to cut them open to get it out, that's going to suck. But
Well, you say that.
it's the Old West. We're used to it.
But let me tell you something. Never light a stick of dynamite and then throw it anywhere around Richter, because he goes and tries to bring that fucker back, and it is a pain in the ass.
Oh.
It's a really good idea. I'll remember that, Austin. Yeah. So if somebody wants to spend a penny, I will say that while you were at the Donavan Mining Company, you did go ahead and get the location of this closed down mine where they're doing the experiments.
I'll
Okay.
spend one. I got 4, so I'll spend one.
There you go.
Cool.
So you get to the warehouse. It is very poorly guarded in that there's no one guarding it.
Apparently, this entire city is poorly guarded. I just want to point out.
Well, it's moody Boise.
I
They're home pouting.
yeah.
I don't want to guard.
It's my favorite McCarthy novel.
Very little was guarded before the modern era. People just stole stuff, tons of stuff.
A lot of people got paid for guarding, though. It's strange.
Well, so you get some dynamite. You're on your horses, heading east. Now, it is night. Do you guys want to wait till the morning?
Hell no.
No, I would imagine that's when the guys come to work.
Granted, Colostomy does his best work in the morning, but
Jesus.
After a cup of coffee and a cigarette, yeah.
hey-o. And it's one of those like little limp wet cigarettes too. Those really
Corey, shut the fuck up.
those really make you pass.
Stop it.
He's a shitting man.
And Crackety is still, he's still vomiting. He's wide awake.
Yeah, he's highly motivated.
Uh-huh.
All right, who is leading you through the countryside to the mine? Up in the mountains of Boise.
Once again, I have a D6 of tracking.
I think you just have the best character, Austin.
I mean, no one's ever said that.
Fuck does that happen?
Well, I think Crackety is really good at killing people.
Yes.
And Colostomy's really good at magic, and Austin's character is good at everything else.
Gotcha. So can we make this a group roll and Todd and I roll our riding? I think we all have riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
I have a D4 in riding.
Crackety is a D6 in writing.
Nice.
So I'm going to say there's a -1 to this because you guys are riding at night, which is hard to do.
So it's a -1 to both Todd and I, what we roll?
Yes.
Okay.
And Austin's final roll.
Gotcha. Got a 6 on the wild die. That's a 10, so it's still a raise.
I got a 6, so that explodes. I roll another D6. And that's a 2, and that's 8 -1, so 7.
So +3, so you're at +2, Austin, with a -1.
Okay. What a time to roll it.
Snake Eyes?
Sure did.
God damn it.
Now I'm back. Good thing it was for something insignificant, like going somewhere.
Like finding your way through the darkness. So you guys load your horses down with dynamite. You're riding through the back alleys of Boise, trying to get out of the city so you can get out into the wilds and get into the mountains and up to this mine to blow it up and end whatever evil the Donavan Mining Company is undertaking. In an alleyway, it's very dark. There's some gas lamps on the street at the end of the alleyway. You're all riding your horses, clippity-cloppity, but otherwise making no noise. And Austin, at the end of the alleyway, which is probably 50, 60 feet away, a horse is in the light but steps out in front of the alleyway and looks down, and you could swear that horse was Richter.
Wait, huh?
And you're pretty sure your horse just went, oh, shit.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm a skinwalker! And your horse takes off with you on it.
What? God damn it.
Wait, the old prospector is a horse skinwalker now?
Yeah.
Okay, I accept that. God damn it.
I'm going to get you out of here. We're going to go blow up, son. Me and you. Death pact.
So wait, the horse Austin was riding was the skinwalker?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
God damn it.
And so it charges down an alleyway, heading away from the group and away from the real Richter, who does his trademark scream and comes charging after. The Skinwalker laughing maniacally in horse form.
Horses do all manner of weird shit in this game.
The Wild West was a wild time. Horses changed a lot since then. They evolved. And Richter howls and goes charging after. What do Crackety and Colostomy do?
So this is very aware. The Skinwalker shouted, "I'm a Skinwalker horse," right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We heard that, yeah.
Dave's going to shoot the horse.
Please do.
Any horse he sees.
This is the Old West. There's a lot of them.
Dave's got a Winchester lever-action rifle,
Okay.
which is a sharpshooting rifle.
Yes.
You ever seen them?
Yes, I've seen American TV.
So what range are we at here, Kyle?
I mean, you're still pretty close. It's not that far away. Like, probably short range for a rifle.
Okay.
So that would do 3D damage.
Yeah. Now, the deal is that you're only going to get time for a shot before he's moving around a building and out of your line of sight.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to shoot his rifle and try to just kill the horse person. Mm-hmm. So I don't have shooting. Can I use my riding in this situation since I am on horseback?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, fuck. So if I don't have shooting, what do I need to roll?
Oh, you could just roll your agility, I believe.
Okay. Well, I got a D4. Got a 5.
Okay.
So my Winchester rifle is 1 to 3 D6 damage. Does that mean the range?
I think so.
Okay.
Unless we've been doing it wrong this entire time, which is possible.
That's
Okay.
what I took it to mean, just because that's one of the only ones that's versatile enough to have multiple uses.
Okay. So we're in close range, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 D6.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck this horse's life up. That's a total of 12. So that's 2 raises.
The target for a damage roll is equal to the opponent's toughness,
Okay.
which in this case is 7.
Okay.
So that is 1 raise. He was wounded by Austin previously, so he's at -2. So he stumbles and Vince goes rolling off. The horse, like, the image of it muddles and quickly twists into a humanoid form. The saddlebags fall to the side.
We realize it's actually 2 Skinwalkers. One's in the front of the horse and one's in the back.
Quick as he can, Vince is going to spin up his Colt Navy and try to shoot the thing in the head just as it becomes humanoid.
Well, I'm going to give Crackety a chance to fire because I don't think Todd has shot anything this
Oh,
session.
yeah. Shoot two boom.
Todd, have you shot?
I have not. Crackety's going to draw his double barrel shotgun, 2 boom, and shoot at the skin-walking monstrosity that is lying there before him.
This might be the prime antelope.
+2 to my shooting, and he has a D8 in shooting.
All right.
Nice.
All right, that's a 7 +2, so 9.
Okay. That's definitely more than enough to hit. Roll the damage on 2 boom.
And that's going to be 3d6 because it's close range. 15 total.
Ooh,
Wow.
Looking good.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot. So how does it die?
As the shots obliterate the Skinwalker, Crackety, in addition, also runs to the corpse and is screaming about antelopes and just like ripping body parts and pitching them hither and yon.
Oh, he's going to end me forever.
Vince had only just now spun up his pistol and got it primed and ready to fire when this thing explodes like a Men in Black alien and covers him in viscera as...
Yeah, and I definitely don't think that's the last prospector we're going to see.
Probably not.
Yeah, end him forever indeed.
But nothing from the entrails is human. It's all alien and green black and grotesque and rotted.
As Crackety is standing there covered in viscera from what is basically the thing, he turns and looks at Colostomy Dave and Vincent Kellogg, and he says, "Well, won't have to worry about that antelope no more."
Did Crackety just achieve catharsis?
He did.
So the real Richter comes back and just walks through the pile of gore and stands near his saddlebags and looks expectantly at Vince as if to say, well, put my stuff on me.
He tries to rear up and hop onto me, pawing at me.
Crackety draws 2 boom again.
So you guys head out of town, get back on the road. the old dusty trails, they say in the Old West. And we'll see what happens at the Donavan Mining Company. Definitely closed down mine and not secret industrial hell site for the extraction of the innards of greed maggots. That's on the sign.
0 days since a lost time accident.
So we haven't had a check-in. How do you guys feel about Deadlands? We've been playing it a couple sessions.
I'm having fun.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah?
I want to go home.
Yeah?
You've kept me here for days. No, it's fun. I really like the Savage Lands system. It's honestly been one of my favorite systems.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty
far.
intuitive.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's simple. There's some complexity.
I wouldn't go as far to call it rules light, but it's rules light-esque.
Yeah.
Like, it's got some cool nuances to it. The overall system itself is cool, but there's a lot of stuff in the skills and attributes and gear and hindrances and all that add a lot of stuff, but it's not overwhelming. It's not fucking D&D.
Yeah. It doesn't have the elegance maybe of like a 2D20, but there's actually a lot of really specific points about it that give it a lot of personality.
Yeah, I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure the characters can get more complicated because these are starting characters.
Oh, yes. There's lots of blank spaces on these sheets.
Edges and perks and stuff, so I'm sure it could get in depth if you wanted to play that way.
Yeah, because we don't even have like Ghost Rock powered guns or anything like that, which I'm sure is a thing in this.
Yeah, and I also know that there are superhero settings for Savage Worlds, and I bet those are... Superhero games are just always inherently more complex, seemingly.
Yeah.
But I like it so far.
Thanks.
So if you're a fan of all things inherently complex, Norse Foundry has the dice for you. Just go to NorseFoundry.com. They have all manner of dice made from all manner of materials. They're beautiful. They're tiny rollable works of art. And when you check out, enter promo code CHAM, that's CHAM, and receive the Bastard Quest 10% discount. That's NorseFoundry.com.
And I will deliver them to you and do the chant like, here's your dice. Happy birthday.
We should see if they want to add that as an upgrade.
I'll do it for like $30.
Or enter promo code Prospector and Kyle will deliver them. Here's your dice.
Kyle, while you've got Corey chained up down here, we should set up a Cameo account.
Just for Cham, yeah.
And also thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River, next to the flood wall mural. It's stuff painted on it. People travel from all over the world to take pictures of it.
Saw a dead horse down there the other day. Just floating down the sleepy Ohio.
Just a horse corpse in the middle of the river, yeah.
Well,
I've seen it 1,000 times.
oh yeah.
And if you're in Barrel and Bond and looking for the bathroom, look for the door marked demolition.
Thank you to all our Patreon members. A couple were featured in this episode, most of them as horses.
That's true.
If you'd like to learn more about our Patreon, listen to some special sessions and session zeros, head over to patreon.com/bastardquest.
And thank you to everyone who listens to this, who interacts with us, who rates us, who reviews us. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, and if you've got a friend who is into, God damn, I don't know, let them know, please.
Whatever
Stuff?
this shit is.
Yeah, thank you.
If you have a friend with questionable taste, recommend Bastard Quest.
No, that's what I always tell people. Recommend us to somebody who will love it and recommend us to somebody who definitely won't.
Thank you for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
Austin.